Is there any possibility, can I open my Telegram here? Telegram, yes, yes. First, because I want to download one file.
Yesterday I will install Forecast.
SPSS?
Yes. Forecast Pro. This one.
No. I don't know what it is. Open. Oh no, Forecast Pro. No. We do not have SPSS.
This no, yes.
No, not this one. Maybe during the break we can find together.
Okay.
Sorry, maybe yesterday when you were doing, but I was busy with the discussing with the girl.
Yeah, no problem. We need Telegram. I see here is.
Oh, just web.
Yes, I see.
It's easy. Just make sure. Good morning. Morning. You guys are late.
Yeah,
Yes.
he gave it 8:30.
I was here at 8:45. Okay, but we were recording some other session. Yesterday there was one abstract which you guys opened actually, and we gone through, right? So I'm going to show you how I revise that abstract.
Okay. Great. What is abstract? You are readiness abstract. Yes?
Yes, the Negoras.
Yes.
So that abstract I received and then.
Ministry level abstract. Ministry level projects.
But you can check actually that how it has been revised because I commented on the title, I commented on these different areas. So we can go through in the very fast mode. Right.
Yes, about share.
Yes.
So this is first.
Yes, like.
This one.
Okay,
Thank you.
So first of all, the title. Have a look at the title. it was some tourism dynamics. Okay, so dynamics is a very complicated word. Growth in tourism industry and the rising need of skilled professionals. Okay, it was expert or some other word actually. So skilled professional is the right term to be used. Uzbekistan is coming at the end. Okay, rather than we bring that location in between actually. Okay. So now it has connectivity. The first part and the last part has some sort of connectivity actually. In this you can see, we showed the necessity, we showed the gap, okay, by highlighting the statistics of tourist arrival, tourist receipt, and then forecasting, and then the actual need. So it's convincing now actually. All the comments which were raised by the reviewer on the last abstract actually cannot, they are already altered, they are already answered in this abstract. In that abstract, there were lots of promises were made. Okay, it is not necessary that we are able to fulfill. So we shouldn't promise much. Second, in that abstract, the thing was mentioned that something like a study have already been conducted. Actually, it's not. Actually, it's not. So here we are just talking about. I want you to go through this first paragraph. Okay, only one thing is missing in this abstract, which is citations. Okay, because these statistics, like suppose someone is talking about approximately 6.7 billion. Actually, this approximately shouldn't come also, exact number should come. Once I have the citation here, okay, where this number figure is mentioned, just remove the approximately, put that exact figure and put the citation. Okay. Then this much of revenue, okay, generating 1.679 billion US dollar. Actually, it should be in a local currency. Okay, because I just wanted to fill up here. So I have these figures, but these figures has to be replaced with the authentic local figures actually, which comes from the ministry. Uzbekistan? Yeah, it's better. It's better actually. Or if you want to, normally when we talk about, like in my research, whenever I need to talk about tourist receipt, means revenue generated in Malaysia, I talk about MYR, Malaysian ringgit, in bracket, US dollar. Okay, because my research is not only being read by local Malaysian. Now, suppose from someone from Europe, someone from any other part of the world, actually, they will be checking, oh, how much it is. So in bracket, if you have a US dollar, it's easy actually. Okay.
So in this case, if someone took this material from someone else's article and put the citation, as you said, after transferring these numbers into the soup, still this material is from another article.
That's why actually when the statistics or these authentic numbers actually don't rely on anyone's paper. Okay, always go to the root, the authentic source. Authentic source is if tourist arrival, your WTO. Okay, they have a tourism highlights every year. Okay, that's the authentic source, or your ministry. Okay, don't take these figures or numbers from anyone's paper. Okay, the paper probably they can have some issues also. They have promise, but it's not. But if you go for authentic source, then it's better. Okay, and even though if you are taking from my paper, okay, and I have mentioned Malaysian ringgit and US dollar, you are converting here in Uzbek som. Okay, what is the current rate today? Okay, and accordingly you can convert, but later in the notes somewhere you have to mention that which currency converter, which website you have used on which day, because the rate for today is different from tomorrow or yesterday. If so, you have a justified, because remember justification, if you have justified and you didn't hide any information, then you are safe. Okay,
Should we have to take some dates as well?
dates.
In this year, for example, this sum was equal to this number.
No,
Because changed every.
yes, that's why actually if you suppose this one 6.7 million, okay, in 2019, okay, 6.7 million, but you are converting for today. You are converting with the current rate, today's rate actually. So you can just put in a bracket, oh, sorry, not this, this is number, this one. You are converting in Uzbek som actually. So you can put in a bracket actually Uzbek som, this amount, definitely it will be in trillions. Okay, but later somewhere in the summarize or in your reference, in your abstract somewhere actually, or even though beside the number, which website, which day you have used. Okay, because that citation is the most important. I will show you actually in my paper how I have done. Then, so first one was talking about some background actually, why it is important, that because we have to talk about the statistics. We have to talk about the tourist, this amount revenue was generated actually. Then it looks so good. Wow, we are doing well, wonderful. And then before COVID, immediately after COVID actually. Then tourism industry expansion now. Okay, we have already shown in the previous paragraph that it's in terms of tourist number, actually there is a need. Now it's expanding approximately 3,000 well-trained professionals annually across various domains. Again, not in Uzbekistan. It's a general. Okay, slowly will be coming to the Uzbek. We have to talk from global to the local. Government policies, investment in the tourism infrastructure, industry challenges, and it also discusses the increasing need of qualified workforce, skilled labor in the tourism industry, skilled stakeholder in the tourism industry. And then concluding, the closing with Uzbekistan. Okay, lacking hands-on experience addressing this issue requires enhanced collaboration among education institutions, government agencies, and tourism businesses to align academic curricula. Why? Because we need the tourism experts. So tourism expert, how we will get the tourism experts? With a proper qualification. And where we will get the proper qualification? In the institutions, universities, with a proper curriculum. Bachelor's degree, master's degree, diploma, vocational studies, and so on. Cannot talk everything here. Curricula or curriculum sounds good word. By fostering such partnership, Uzbekistan can ensure the development of workforce capable of sustaining the. So, main motto, the objective is actually to focus that there is a need. There is a need of a workforce, a skilled workforce. Go back to the title, growth in tourism industry and the rising need of skilled professionals. So it's not saying it's not doing anything, it's just talking that industry is growing. Industry is growing in what sense? Tourists are coming and they are increasing on everyday basis. So we need.
The main topic is need for that.
Of course. So we are not talking about tourism development here. We are just talking about the need.
And they put this end with within how can I say?
We have to use some connecting word actually. I cannot say I was in dilemma that it should be and or versus or something. We have to bring. We cannot only talk about rising need of tourism experts to grow tourism industry in.
However, this end word puts equal responsibility for both topic, I think.
Yeah, but because this one this is not our actual topic or objective for this paper actually. But to talk about this, we have to rely on this. We created the background first. That's why this the first area, those 3-4 words are here. That's why I said every word matters in the title actually. By looking at the title, we should understand what is the actual objective of this paper. Then Uzbekistan can ensure, so this one, then the last paragraph.
I have a question, so.
Just 1 second after this paragraph.
Necessity.
Of bridging the skill gaps through strategic educational reform and the industry engagement. It also highlights the importance of preparing professionals who can meet the evolving demand of Uzbekistan. So actually the objective of this paper is just focusing on that there is a need, how that need can be fulfilled. There's no new data will be collected actually. It's all previously what is available on secondary data. Okay. Because if we go for the primary data, then it's very huge actually. 4, 5, 6 projects can come out of this. Okay. This paper is just piloting that there is a need. Okay, what type of need? We have just highlighted one need, which is skill. But after skilled professionals, we have so many skilled professionals in what? Skilled professional in tour guiding, skilled professional in travel agencies, tour operators,
Management.
hotels, so on. Yes, yes, yes.
So in this case, can we say that tourism industry is dependent variable and skilled professional is independent? Or
Don't talk about the variables here.
because it's secondary data, that's why.
Variables, we are going to talk about the variables today actually, in research methodology topic. Variables, in this paper actually you cannot find any variable. This is very secondary, very theoretical papers actually. Okay,
Yeah.
but tourism growth can be a dependent variable. Okay, and tourism growth depends on what?
Yeah.
Okay, number of tourist arrival, that is not a construct actually, that's just a figure. So are we good with this? So how the things have been reshaped, restructured actually. Okay. We should have some frame infrastructure in our mind what exactly we want. Okay, so first I worked on the title actually, because the dynamic and all those, when we have a complicated word which have a different meanings, means we are confused ourselves or we are trying to bluff. We shouldn't.
We have some sweets for you.
Sorry. Sorry.
We have sweets for you also.
You have what?
Sweets and pie for you.
It's okay. We have very limited time today actually. So let's finish this one first. Good morning.
Вы работаете? А я вот другой считаю, что придумал. Видишь, какая разговаривается.
Growth in tourism industry and rising need skilled.
Did you like the title?
Yeah, I like.
I'm asking the person. Because I had a nice dinner, so after that my mind was really working. Stop.
What about growth of inbound tourism and demand for blue collar employees in tourism sphere in Uzbekistan?
Possible.
It is narrow, yes? Or exactly I should determine what kind of specialist, or it's enough to say mid-level or blue collar.
In the title, we mentioned the tourism experts,
Yeah.
okay, professionals or skilled professionals. In later part, actually, in the second or third paragraph, where the skilled professionals we have mentioned, there you can have a more emphasized. What do you mean by that?
Yes, but after you answered the suggestions, I thought about it, and maybe we should mention that they are not commonly specialists, but blue collar or work рабочие специальности. Because I want to discuss the problem not of all the specialists in tourism, but only these working professions. Вот я вчера объяснила, почему. Зачем нам если будут с одинаковыми специальностями? Зачем нам нужно?
It's shared, right? Okay, can we continue?
Yes.
Okay. Yesterday's topic, there was few things remain. So we are going to continue and complete that first before we start the research. Okay, so
Title.
yes. Discussion, summary, title. Title is the most important thing actually. That's why we need to focus on the title, because title is equal to purpose. Title is equal to your first impression of your paper. Title is equal to everything. Okay, if your title is confusing, if your title is not attractive, using some normal words, title has to be very catchy. Wow! Title has to be very attractive. Title has to be very innovative. Title has to be very sexy, which is something different actually. Something different actually, because journals are receiving thousands of paper. At the end of the day, they are publishing less than 100 paper. Okay, so title is the very first thing for the filtration. Okay, what to use in the title, what not to use in the title. Okay,
Do's and don'ts.
Do's and don'ts. There are so many joggers actually. So if you are jogging or some typical term or word actually which is not well versed, not common, better avoid it, because you have to explain that first before you use. Okay. Crafting an effective and engaging title. So title, some of the journals, normally we have only one title. Some of the journals used to have title and running title. Running title is a shorter version of the actual title. Most of the journal are asking maximum 7 words. Actually, yes. Anatolia, one of the great journal, Q1, Q2 now this year. Okay. It really put me, at least I was thinking for 45 minutes and then ended up with the ChatGPT. ChatGPT, I was not happy. Gemini was not happy. Again, I brought my 2 PhD students. I called my professor. I said, I need this 13-word title in 7 words.
13-word title.
Yeah, I had the title of 13 words. 13 words. 13 words is normal, 1.5 line.
8 words.
But editor asked me to revise it and bring to the 7 words only. So I have to reduce, I have to shrink, because AI was suggesting me, I was not happy, I was not convinced. Okay. So after brainstorming, we have just how to replace these 3 words with a one right word. Or what we have to delete, what we have to add. Okay, it is not necessary we should include everything in the title. Okay, you have this entire paper, but again, the title is the shape of your paper, so should reflect something. Title is the first element reader encounters, or your reviewers or your managing editors encounters. It should grab the attention and summarize the research. Okay, that's why I used to say the title is equal to the purpose of the study. In a purpose, of course, you will be having one paragraph of two and a half or 3 lines max, okay, which will reflect the purpose of the study. The last paragraph in just abstract we have seen. The purpose of this paper is characteristic, concise and informative. Concise title. We cannot have a three. I used to receive a 3 lines title. And have been used 4 times, 5 times in the title. Crazy. Immediately reject. When you can't draft your title properly, what we have to expect in the paper? In 3 lines you use the and 4 times. I don't know in one paragraph how many times you will be using the same word again and again, again and again, again and again. Includes the key variables of the themes. It's not necessary. I have 9 variables or construct in my paper. If I put all those variables, then 1. I have to show the relationship, effects, what exactly is being done, where exactly it has been done. Sometimes we use the location also. Case study of Malaysia, case study of luxury hotels in Klang Valley, Malaysia. So limited. Or what type of theory we have used. If we have integrated, like one of the ecotourism paper, we purposefully use the theories in the title because we are integrating 2 different theories. That's the nature actually. That's the main novelty of our paper. We want to highlight that actually. Okay. But in PhD titles, so now we are talking about research paper. PhD title doesn't work in the same style. PhD titles is a totally different story. PhD then. Okay, and we are talking about just research paper. Have a look at the title. Paper is published, my dear. It was submitted 15th December 2024. We revised on 2nd December. Sorry, no, we submitted on 30th September 2024, revised on 2nd December, revised again on 15th December, and on the 15th December itself, it was accepted. Last year. So, harnessing SCARA for enhancing green performance of hospitality industry. Green HRM employee commitment as a mediator and psychological climate as a moderator.
The main topic is before to.
Actually, in this title, all the construct have been used, which are the main thing. Mediator and moderator purposefully have been used because we want to highlight that's the novelty of this paper. Above title, the impact of restaurant safety measures on the customer revisit intention in the post-COVID era. In Klang Valley, Malaysia, it was the title, but we removed in Klang Valley. Never mind.
This means Tara SCA. It's a program, sorry. It's abbreviation.
Yes, it's an abbreviation actually. It's explained in the abstract. It's explained. So it's a program actually, not necessarily every hotel is implementing. But
it's for hospital.
yes, yeah. For hospitality industry, hotels actually. We have 2 types of abstract. Structured abstract and unstructured abstract and unstructured or just a normal abstract. Structured abstract, we used to have a different headings such as a purpose, design, findings, methods, and so on. Whereas unstructured abstract is just 1 paragraph. For both structured or unstructured, we are bound with a number of words. That's why author's guideline for the research journal, the paper, the journal which we are targeting, actually we have to follow. Because if the journal says a maximum 150 word, and your abstract is having 152 words, actually you cannot submit the paper again. Because we have to submit the paper in the system. And if we copy the abstract from our Word file and paste in the system, actually, it will not allow us to go. Exceeding number of words. You understand? So it's wonderful actually. We have to reshape, we have to paraphrase, we have to remove something. Keywords, most important things actually. You cannot choose the keywords by your choice actually. And it is not necessary that you just identify the keywords such as your constructs or your variables. It is not necessary. Sometimes we don't talk about the variable. If those are very common keywords which have been used like a service quality, customer experience, no more. Because customer experience millions times the literature is available. Okay, but we are integrating customer experience with what? Airline customer experience, or airline passenger experience, or Malaysian airline passenger experience. This restaurant safety measure, if we talk about this study was taking place in fine dining restaurants in Malaysia, then yes, fine dining restaurant customers experience, probably that keyword will be different. Clarity and precision, concise things in the writing. Why it matters? Because if your writing is not clear, if your writing is complicated, then it will be creating lots of issues and complications. Avoiding jargons and redundancy. Don't repeat the same thing. Avoid jargons as much as you can. If you really need to use, then better you explain first. Okay, simple. STARA, STARA, we use, right? We use that STARA in abstract, but not the abbreviation full form. In introduction, very first time, full form, bracket, STARA, then STARA, STARA, STARA. But literature review, again, very first time, we explain. Methodology, again, we first time explain. Discussion, again, first time we explain. Okay. So the readers, the reviewers actually don't get confused what exactly is okay, because not necessary everyone is start reading the paper from the introduction or abstract. Okay, we jump directly from abstract to the conclusion first. Everyone has its own way actually. So we as the author are giving a flexibility. We make sure, we try our best to make sure that the reviewers are reviewer get involvement, reviewer get the flow of the paper actually. Rather than if they need to struggle to find out something, it means the paper is confusing. How to eliminate redundancy, avoid repeating ideas. If you follow the structure of the paragraph, actually you won. But in the one paragraph, you have used some definitions or something which you have explained, and in the third paragraph, you are also asking or talking the same thing. That's a redundancy actually. Repetitions. Okay, so please read your paper again and again. Does it really make sense? The first paragraph is connected to the previous paragraph, or the second paragraph is connected to the previous paragraph or not? Because we have to bring that consistency. Eliminate filler words that don't add meanings. Replace absolutely essential with essential. Absolutely essential. It's not a word. Essential fits well. So Grammarly actually does a wonderful job. Okay, this is just a simple example. To investigate the factors that influence, just focus on a specific, what exactly you want to do. Just like a layman words, simple. Research is all about simplifying your ideas actually. Okay, with one reading we should understand. If I need to read a second time the same thing to understand what exactly you want, what exactly you mean by that, it means your paper is confusing. Okay, and there's lots of you need to simplify the writing.
This is because to enhance the article, yeah, in order to.
You have to enhance with the meaningful things rather than using this useless words. Okay, please allow me to use the word of useless because sometimes we do, like my PhD students, minimum word limit for the PhD is 70,000. 70,000 words actually, maximum is 100,000. Most of the time, students are sorry, sir, we are above 100,000. It's wonderful. We have to shrink somewhere here and there. Okay, but some of the students, sorry, we are done with the 56,000. I said, no, still 14,000 more are required. No worries. Update your literature review. Update your literature review means bring more citation. Okay, that's the very first thing. Second, it's a very easy actually to increase the number of words somewhere where it won't lose the flow. You cannot increase the number of words without any reason in a methodology. You have very well explained actually. So literature review, you are just expanding somewhere, but make sure that you don't lose the flow, connectivity actually. Sometimes one citation, why only one citation? It's quite old, double citation. Because some of the areas, some of the paragraph we want to emphasize on. Okay, we are talking about previous study have explored or previous study have identified this thing and we added only one citation. But you can say previous studies and add 3 more citation. But make sure that it's authentic studies who have already identified actually. More reliable actually. We are using one citation of 1998 actually, and we need to add the number of words. No need to replace that actually. 1998 is fine. Get few more after 2000 or after 2010, after 2020. So it's supporting actually. So there are different ways actually. Rather than you mentioned about the number of words. Number of words is not a measure actually. Okay. If we really follow the flow, we will stick there. Academic tone. Just now I said simple, humbleness, respectful way, but academic tone. You are not writing a letter. When you write a letter to your friend, it's a different. When you write a letter to email to professional, it's a different. Okay. When we write a letter to managing editor, it's a different. Okay, so there are different ways of writing also, and that no one can teach you except yourself, and that only comes with the reading of the articles. Actually, what journal article you want to target? How is the style? Journal follow different style actually. So that's why I have limited my search actually only these 50 journals where I try my best to publish or play around my game actually. So we know what is the style of this journal. So from the beginning, we follow the same protocol. Characteristics of an academic tone: formal language. Instead of the results were pretty surprising. What is this word? Pretty surprising. It's not a formal word. It's not a professional term. Okay, the results were unexpected. The surprising word is not a formal word actually. Unexpected. That's it. Simplify it actually. We don't want to have any sort of this different sense get triggered by the reviewer actually. Okay. Objective perspective. Instead of I strongly believe this method is the best. Right? The finding indicate that this method is effective. The best is not a word, formal word actually. Good, bad, worst. These are not the formal words actually. Effective, non-effective, some formal we need to bring. Evidence-based study. Always back claims with the data and citation. In the research, if you are writing something without citation, it means those are your words. Okay? You want to take that credibility? But credibility comes with lots of positive as well as it can have some consequences also. So if you are able to bear those consequences, then yes. You want to take the risk. If not, be careful. Give the credibility to someone who said that actually. So we are, moving that risk to someone's shoulder. You understand? Evidence-based. The study corroborates previous findings. or previous, this study had XYZ, 2024 indicates these findings in this. So we are just moving that basically. Sometimes we don't have a confirmed study, we just talk about prior literature, previous studies. Neutral language, avoid biased or judgmental words. The policy was complete failure. The policy did not achieve its intended outcomes. When sometimes we are not happy with something, okay, we cannot show our anger. Okay, insult with formal words. You have to, but you have to be very neutral. Okay? There are so many things actually, such as a regular comment. I'm not happy most of the time, but it's okay. That's a time where they are having the power.
Is this point not contradict the previous point about simplifying?
Which one?
For example, the policy did not achieve its intended outcomes.
It's not in a simple way, it's
Yeah.
more in a formal.
In order to, instead of to, like this.
But again, formal wording actually, simplifying in the formal words. I'm just read this too. This instead the policy was a complete failure. Policy was a complete failure. Actually, it's not a formal term. Complete failure. Even if it was complete failure, it means we are targeting to them who came up with this policy.
Yeah, however,
Right?
it seems to me that instead of just simply to, in order to seems to be more formal.
Have to be.
To my mind.
So it is not, these are just examples actually which I'm sharing actually. It is not necessary that we have to come with. Such as the policy was a complete failure, it can be paraphrased in some other formal ways. Instead of the policy did not achieve its intended outcome. So we are talking about that particular policy. We are not targeting the credibility of the person who came up with this policy. Yes, sir. Complete failure, then it means the person have vested everything. Intended objectives. They have accomplished something, but the actual objective was not accomplished.
Yeah, I see, but I want to say that most students, I think most students may confuse while choosing formal word with redundant. Yes.
See, these formal words and all those things comes with a different drafts. First of all, the always objective is to complete the paper. Then working on the flow of the paper. Then working on the revising on the formality, simplifying. So simplicity as well as the formality both come together actually. You cannot simplify something by using some non-formal words. We have to simplify with the formal words actually. That's the only the point which I'm highlighting. You cannot use some non-formal words which you are using in when you are emailing to your friend, probably you don't think much actually, but when you are replying to your boss, your all senses are very conscious actually. Make sure that there is no flow, there is no issue, there is no comma issue, no grammatical, no contextual. It's so humble, respectful, even though you are not happy with your boss. So it happens. That's why. So most of the messages, emails, actually we reply through our phone. But when there are most of the emails which comes from management, I keep my phone away actually because those really trigger me. Okay, even though I am so angry and I want to reply immediately, no. Open the laptop, nice, calm, use AI, think, merge. When you are not agree, how to say that I am not agree? In a formal way actually. So first, humbleness, respect, thank you. Okay. And thanks for involving me, thanks for asking my opinion. With due respect, I don't agree. So, in a nice packaging actually.
Is there any
What do you mean by limitation?
Maybe can journal reject or ask my changes, just decreasing the
Oh.
citation.
Not only the citation, normally, there was one paper from IGTP, International Journal of Tourism Policy, with a few revision, actually paper reached to 11,000, and after that, finally they accepted and asked me to revise and bring the paper to 6,111. What do you think? From 11,000 to 6,000, 5,000, where to cut? And even though I wrote that if I start cutting here and there, actually it will lose the flow. But then what was the point of having those three versions of review? We have to follow the editorial board's comments. So I started cutting down from the references. It is not necessary all the old references are out. No, you have to be very careful actually. Because sometimes the old references which you have used are purposefully used actually. Okay, so when references we cut down, citations are also gone. Then my second strategy is, what are the citations which I have used only one time in the paper? Why one time? The same citation can be used few times actually when we are using the same type of things actually. So few times we use, and then first time probably just remove. Then we simplify the things in the literature review actually.
And the reference list words also included the.
Table, yes. Even the tables also, tables, figures, actually every table and every figure is as per the journal consists of 150 to 200 words. Okay, 150, and you have too many tables, too many figures actually you can remove. You can bring the most important tables of figures in the paper. Second thing, when you think that these tables are very important, you have to include actually, but it shouldn't be counted in the number of words. Okay, this is another trick now. Put them in appendix.
Index doesn't count.
Appendix is not counted. Appendix is not counted in the number of words, but subject to the journal's policy. Those journals which I know, they don't. So most of the big tables actually, okay, big tables which consist of like taking 800 words, 1,000 words actually, because which are very necessary. Okay, so we put an appendix, and in the paper we say
See appendix.
C appendix 1, C appendix 2. You see, it's really work. And sometimes when we put in the appendix, actually journals at the end, the editorial board say, the journal managing editor say, please bring the simplified version in the paper also.
Still after appendix we should put citations.
Citation. Citation 1, 2, 1.
List of citation. Yeah.
No.
You mean appendix comes where, is it?
For example, if we put table in this appendix.
Appendix is not a part of the paper. Appendix
You
is not.
should put the author in the reference of this table, for example. Where we take this table.
Sorry, I'm not getting your point. Can you please ask again? Yeah.
So, if I use one table, for example, take it from another article.
In the paper.
Oh, no.
No,
In the tables. If-
No. In appendix, you can put only your material. You cannot put others' material because that you have to cite.
Yeah.
In appendix, we don't cite anything. In appendix is my own table, my own survey instrument, something which I have used. Okay, even the data, sometimes the journals ask you to send the CSV file, the data which you have used actually, because they believe the data which you have used probably you have manipulated. Okay, so they ask the data, they run, that is it exact or not. So we don't manipulate, we don't alter anything in their data because we are researcher actually. Whatever the result, we just portray, discuss, recommend. Okay, who we are to change the data actually. If you are not happy with the data, never mind, collect more response. Practical tips for the improving writing style. First of all, read actually. Most important articles which you think in the journal, particular journal where you want to publish, download the article, recent article, because you will learn what is the flow of the words, how it starts, what type of writing style, the formality. the simplicity, etc. Okay. Read extensively, seek feedback of your drafts actually. So read extensively and write regularly. You as a PhD student, let me ask you. Your PhD is for 3 years, right?
Yeah.
And what semester you are in now? First semester.
We have, every 3 months, campus monitoring. The administration check our publishing.
Some of
No,
us,
no, no, don't confuse me, just simply you are in the first semester?
Some of us in the first year of the first semester,
Yeah.
first semester of the first year.
How many semester you have in 1 year?
2.
2, right?
Yeah.
So in total 6 semester, right?
Yeah.
Alright, okay, fine. Did you start writing? Are you reading?
I'm reading.
How many papers a day?
Oh, I didn't count them, but I have.
After reading, do you do something or just okay, keep aside?
After reading, we just put our ideas in paper because of articles. We are writing articles under our topic. Based on this topic.
You should be focusing on your PhD first.
Read as materials regarding this topic.
but our PhD thesis should contain the text of our papers. It is the
So
demand from.
it is a mandatory that you have to publish the papers before you finish your PhD.
Yes, of course.
Yes, during now.
Okay, that's like a different strategy actually. Normally, in my university actually, we ask the student to focus on your PhD. While focusing on the PhD, they publish the papers, but it is not necessary that the paper will be having the entire material from the PhD thesis actually. Okay, so everyone has a different
Also,
style.
scope of publication.
Yes, and the second thing, read. You should have a literature matrix actually. Every paper you read, you simplify in your own words because what I read yesterday, I forgot today. So how can you expect that what I read a week back, I will be still remembering?
By our Ministry of Innovation's requirement, our young researchers should have their contribution before they want to enter full-time doctoracy. They should have their research, their published papers.
Read regularly and write regularly. Even though you write one paragraph of 100 words, because your first paragraph which you start writing, actually it will be having lots of error, doesn't matter. Okay, because why I want you to write, when you write, keep aside, the file is saved. Okay, go back to that draft after 1 week. You can improvise yourself. You can find lots of errors in your own file. You understand? Don't delete that file actually. That was the first draft, this is the second draft. That second draft you can seek advice, your superior, your supervisor, send. And then see what are the changes they are asking you to do. Okay. Then read again. Next day when you are reading in the same area, actually you will have more ideas. Improvise that version again. Okay, right. Okay. Improvisation will be keep on coming actually. But one thing you should focus that you don't have a life to complete this paper, this PhD. You have just 3 years. So don't. We always go for the perfections actually, but perfection never comes actually. You have to create some borders. This is the perfection for me. Okay, if you keep on revising probably so after 17 version also you will find the mistakes. Okay, so you have to create the borders, you will have some, the doorkeepers actually, such as your supervisors, you have doorkeepers such as your proofreader who will be also formally editing your research to make the words, make the context in a formal writing. Use writing tools to help you to formalize your writing actually, such as a Grammarly. Edit and revise again. Common pitfalls, common issues, and how to avoid plagiarism and self-plagiarism. Please don't cite your own paper. Forget that strategy. If you have published 1, 2, 10 papers, don't cite your own paper. Actually, it will not give you any impact. Okay? But same time, you can have a strategy that how you can market your own published paper and get a citation from others. Okay, that will be the impact actually, rather than citing your own paper. Okay. I have 100+ paper published, but only 2 citation of my own paper. That was my mistake. And after I learned, but there are different ways where we are marketing our papers actually. We are doing publicity and letting people know that this paper is available actually. That's the reason we are on social media, different accounts, LinkedIn, ResearchGate, and so on. Why? Because people are following, so people know also what exactly is happening. So on Google Scholar also I follow 10 to 12 people actually, because I want to have the notification when the new paper is in from them. Why? Because we want to read and we don't want to lose the context. Poor structure and lack of coherence. If your paper is not structured properly, so follow the guidelines strictly from the beginning. If there is any template available, follow the template. If the guidelines are given, follow the guideline. If the guidelines are confusing and you don't understand, very easy is to download the paper in recent issue and just check, okay, what is the style there. Plagiarism, of course, you have to cite, avoid plagiarism, because I'm sure you will be having the plagiarism percentage also, that how much percent plagiarism is allowed for your PhD thesis. Okay.
No?
I don't want to know actually. In different universities, it's a different policy actually. So plagiarism and then AI plagiarism. Okay, you have to be very careful. If you don't take care of this thing from the beginning, at the end you will really lose the hope actually, because you will be having too much of things to do. So have a note on your writing from the beginning actually, that is, these are your ideas, and keep checking the plagiarism percentage for your content every day, second day.
Concerning the citation, so we have some argument, some disagreement with my supervisor. So my work is dedicated to this inclusive tourism issues. So and we are discussing some standards that are for like infrastructure, town infrastructures, and so everything. And there is one ISO standard, this abbreviation ISO, international with ISO, and it's turned out that our country is not submitted to this ISO standard. We just didn't ratify it. So and the first proposal from my supervisor was to send a letter to our Minister of Statistics that they should like change their policy for us, yes, to be like to bring all this stuff on the table, and like there is no ISO standard for the Tashkent city and everything. So how many years should I wait for that? I mean, yeah.
You won't get.
Yes.
You won't get actually. So the best way.
Yes, from a supervisor was just to cite on this ISO standard and not just to mention. Is it okay? Because I do not have the text, because it's $200 on the internet. I should buy it. I mean the text.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I just cite on it? Like, just, there is a resource standard. It's good. We should.
I want to avoid,
stick on that.
I want to avoid answering that actually. Formally shouldn't be. Okay, officially, ethically, legally shouldn't. Something which you don't have confidence on, something which you didn't read properly, how can you cite?
Is it just cite on that?
Yeah, but you don't know, you don't know what exactly are the details of it.
I read the half of them, but the other half is the for $200 and 2 cents.
I understand actually, these are the limitations actually, which we consider. If you find any way of getting the document, it's wonderful. But I won't suggest something you cite which you are not having confidence on, which you didn't go through properly. Okay, but we have another option.
But you offered me to buy.
No,
I can buy. I can afford it.
I'm not asking you. I know you are a rich person here.
No.
Okay, but find out those articles which have cited that.
Mhm.
Okay, so rather than citing the actual reference, you cite those articles.
Articles that contain this.
Yeah,
This
yes.
kind of standard.
Yeah.
I see.
So those articles, but I'm sure you have access and you download those articles, read those articles, what exactly is the context, and then you cite them rather than the actual source actually. Okay, that's just one way. Plagiarism actually, there are always ways actually how to reduce the plagiarism. Paraphrase. So don't just copy paste from somewhere actually. Even though copy paste, but don't bring to your actual files. Okay, there is always a running file of the word where you bring the context and then think actually how you can paraphrase in your own words. What is the niche of that? So you copied something like 3 lines or 4 lines actually, and you can expand more or you can reduce. So Shane, get the niche of it and then define in your own way and then cite it. Or there are some areas actually where you can use what you call quotation marks. Okay, so the quotation marks means this is something like definition or something specific actually, which you don't want to alter. If you alter anything, then it will lose the actual niche of it actually. So you use the quotation mark, and quotation marks are not being counted in your plagiarism. But it doesn't mean that everything you have like 500 quotations in your thesis. Again, you will be in a trouble. Check for unintentional plagiarism actually. Sometimes unintentional, with something like how I have written, I have a mindset probably is almost this person is having the mindset from different part of the world actually. So it's unintentional. Okay, and which we are not sure actually. These are my words actually. Okay. Also, recent case of my PhD student. One of the paper actually which came out from his PhD thesis. His PhD thesis actually, so he copied from his PhD thesis while we are drafting the paper, right? So most of the context from literature review and so on, it came from his thesis. When we check the plagiarism, wow, 56%. So that was the very first thing actually. I was so alarmed at 56%. When I went into the detail, it's your own work, man. It's your own work actually. So how? We cannot submit that paper with a 56% plagiarism to the journal and we can say, sorry, it's our own work. Doesn't work. We have to paraphrase and reduce the plagiarism of the same work which is our own. We have to reduce the plagiarism. Or somehow we have access to the Turnitin actually, we make sure that that file is down from the Turnitin.
This happened with me. When after writing my article, I start to write my abstract. And after finishing this abstract, while we are checking plagiarism, this abstract was full of with high percent.
Similar
plagiarism,
words,
yeah.
maybe.
However, it was my own work.
It happens actually. So again, we have to paraphrase in a simple words or different, synonyms, but make sure that by using the synonyms, we don't lose the actual context of that.
However, I was informed, no, it's fine.
Poor structure or the lack of coherence, actually, the problems are when the articles are not properly organized. So please make sure that the paragraph are designed in a way and the structure has been followed properly. Ensure your article includes a clear title, introduction, abstract, methodology, result, discussion, and conclusion. This is just a formal way. Some essential software and the tools, actually, literature research and the research databases. How, that's why I ask you, how do you start searching? Do you jump directly to the Google Scholar? Or you go to the Scopus, you go to the Web of Science, or you go to the other publishers such as an Emerald, because you want to find the paper only from Emerald? No. For literature review, why should we focus only on one publisher actually? So can go on a Web of Science, I can go on Scopus rather than only Google Scholar, because Google Scholar is having index and non-index papers also. Okay, but Scopus and Web of Science will be having an index in it, their database. So again, subject to actually. If you want to have a quality research, actually index research, then better to go for Web of Science. That's the best gatekeeper for the index work in the research area. And most of our paper are not open access actually, so we have our entry of our paper in the Google Scholar. That is the advice normally I give to the students. So you found on the Google Scholar, this is the paper. You clicked, you can see the summary, the abstract of that paper, but paper is not available to download, right? And you are not willing to pay $56 or $50. Or not? No one is asking you actually. There are different ways. Okay, immediately you have access of that. You can only see the abstract of the paper and the author's detail, right? So search that author in the ResearchGate. So most of you doesn't have a ResearchGate account. Please create your ResearchGate account. Okay, it's a free actually ResearchGate account, and then search about that article. Copy the title of the article and search in the ResearchGate. Definitely, every researcher have ResearchGate account. Believe me, or we can say 99% of the researchers must have a ResearchGate account, because if a researcher is publishing, we are greedy for citation, because that creates my image and impact, right? So ResearchGate actually, and ResearchGate, once you found that article, it will be either file available there, not the final version of the paper, proof version of the paper, a version before it is published. Okay, a version before it is published. Published version is the paid version, but a proof version, which is almost the final version, but you can see there is a watermark proof. Okay, that doesn't matter. Actual objective is you want to read the paper. You know where it is published, or which volume, which issue, what is the DOI, and so on. So that is the option. Normally, most of the researcher actually submit or make the proof version available for their paper which are not open access. Why we want to have that? So the students or the readers can have access to the paper. When they read, they will cite. Good.
But Google Scholar platform usually send me the articles concerning my area of interest. When
Yeah.
I indicated my area of interest, and they usually send me.
That is the notification when you created in the Google Scholar settings. Actually, you can put what exactly is your interest, what are the keywords. Actually, that's why there are so many keywords, as well as the authors, the prominent authors of these areas. Actually, whenever they publish anything, I get notification. I'm receiving more than 35 notifications from Google Scholar every day. Okay, because
but not the other platforms, for example, like Edimi or this Gate. They don't send us anything.
Here on the ResearchGate, we get the notification or the emails for our own research. Okay, like my paper is cited, because I want to know actually who have cited my paper actually. So what is the level of that researcher actually? Is that researcher is a prominent researcher or just a student? Okay, because probably who knows he is having a great experience actually, so I want to follow that person also. So again, it's a give and take. The last point actually, if you found that paper here, it's not freely available, you come here to the research gate, and in the research gate you found that paper, but the file is not available. Okay, then what? There is a one option, ask to the author for a file. Just click that button. Click that button actually. So the author, the research gate, the person whose profile you are checking, he will receive the notification that this person is interested in your paper. We will just click it, the paper will be gone. Because it's not publicly available here, but privately I have all the files. So I will send that file in your message. And then you can download, read, cite, understand? So it works actually, and most of the time we do this thing actually, because I don't want to pay $50 for one paper.
So citations will be according to this paid type?
What pay site, sorry?
Well, I cannot say that I just take this article from the author himself.
You don't need to say anything actually. Why you need to say that where you have downloaded and got this article?
So what about citation in this case? Which arguments I produce?
The actual, no, not the article actually. You will be citing that article, my dear.
Not
Yes.
side, not anywhere public.
No. Where we get the paper from, we don't need to cite. We need to cite only the paper which we have read.
Name, the author's name, here.
Yes, normal APA style or Howard style or any style, whatever you follow. The source of author, source of the paper can be anything. There are so many. Again, there are so many websites actually where the papers are available. Okay, but those are probably black market sites actually. I don't want to talk about them, but you can search about it actually. There are so many. Writing and proofreading tool actually. First of all, the Grammarly works wonderful. The free version also. If you have a little resource, you can go for the professional, the paid version also. It's really does a wonderful job. And after that, when we go for indexing the good journals such as SSC IQ1, I always go for professional proofreading because it's really completely changed the context, not the context, the way of writing actually, academic writing. Because when we are, such as I use Cambridge proofreading, okay, and when we are submitting our paper to them for proofreading, actually there is a one long form to fill up actually, which journal, which publisher, you want in English US, English UK, okay, because it matters actually in what style of references. So why they want to know? Because they will set my paper completely to that journal style. Okay, and then the writing. That's why when we receive the paper from proofreader, it's completely changed. So it does a wonderful job. And writing style, because that's the first thing is, wow, it looks clean. The second thing is simple and formal academic writing. So at least our paper will not be rejected because of these silly errors actually. It's not my fault that English is not my mother tongue or my first language, but there are different ways to improvise it actually, right? And beside that, we have a few others such as a Quillbot, we have a Ref and Write, we have a Schoracy, but these two I have oftenly used. Okay, which helps us to clean our writing, simplify our writing, paraphrase, such as a Quillbot actually does a wonderful job in paraphrasing. Besides that, ChatGPT,
Very good.
okay, it does a wonderful job in paraphrasing actually, but making sure that you don't copy the content actually. You use your brain completely 110% before you bring that text to your paper. Otherwise, plagiarism.
I will take a picture.
You will have all the slides, my dear. This, all the slides are in this, this computer. If you want to take the picture, take now. Citation management and references. Someone asked me yesterday that what tool to use for the references. I said I use manually actually because it's really gives me confidence that who I have cited, what type of paper I have used in this paper actually. If you use manually, if you use this and that other tools actually, then we are not familiar with our bibliography actually. So, but there are different ways you can use. But if you are a legal researcher student, I advise you better you do it manually. I had 257 references in my PhD thesis and I used manually. And after that, I was having confidence. Now you ask me in the, I'm in deep sleep at 3:30 a.m. I can do. Because we have a confidence that where the comma should come, full stop, break it, italic, this and that should come. So it will come with the, when you do 1, 2, 3, 4 times, after 1 week, you will be pro in this actually. Data analysis, there are so many tools for the data analysis such as the SPSS, which we are going to look at today, if we can have the software. We have a SCM, structure equation modeling, we have a PLS, partial least square, we have a, these are for the quantitative, then we have NVO for the qualitative, and there are so many others.
And we go for quality.
NVO, Atlas for qualitative, Smart PLS, MOS, Stata, R, SPSS for the quantitative. Survey tools, how to create the survey. Okay, that is one of the main topic for today's the lecture we are going to look at. But just let me touch and go. The survey tools, we can use a Google survey, we can use a monkey survey, Google monkey or something. Huh? Yeah. Yeah, not monkey, it's a Google monkey, but they call it actually, you can search about it. So there are different actually, even Microsoft Word, Microsoft
Google Monkey does some kind of analysis, yes.
yes. So there are different way. Even the Google survey is the simplest survey actually. Because we want to make the survey very simple actually for our audience who can just click or scan the QR code and then start filling up actually. At the end, we are controller actually, so we will be receiving the data in the Excel file. And then we will know that how many responses we have collected and so on. We can have different sections of our survey, such as the demographic, then the actual construct, or demographic, then travel information, then the construct, these different sections.
Okay, and what can you suggest instead of Google for surveys?
Paper version is better than Google, or will people attend in this survey? In Google?
Yes, it is one of the methods and it's widely used in research, yes, in social plus interviewing, survey.
Which one of them is
There are different ways of conducting survey. First thing actually is a paper survey, means you print the survey, you go to the destination, you give pen and paper, survey and pencil, and ask the person. Okay, that's outdated. That's outdated, but that's authentic one. But that takes a long time. That takes printing money, then travel information, going there. Then coming back home also, you have to put all the data in the Excel file. Okay, so time taking. Whereas Google survey or Outlook, Microsoft Outlook also is wonderful actually. Professionally, officially for any sort of survey, we use Microsoft Outlook because it's safe and secure. But for any sort of simple research, we use the Google survey actually because it's a simple, it's a free. Okay, Microsoft Outlook, we are using the paid version because of our emails and all those things actually for the security purpose. So that is professional version. But there are plenty of other platforms actually. Okay, but please use an authentic one. Now, answering to your question that which one is authentic, actually all the survey styles are authentic. Okay, but the paper survey will take lots of resources, time, data entry, and all those things. If you use the survey by QR code or link, this Google survey, you have to just send the link. Okay, I create most of the time what exactly we do, we have the survey available and we need to collect suppose 100 response from few hundreds, few destinations. So we have a different iPads. Okay, we send our student helper, master student to the different destinations and just give the iPad to the person, respondent, just fill up and submit. So I will be receiving the response in my Excel file. Okay, why this one? Because the people are very sensitive nowadays for clicking any of the link or scanning any of the QR code through their phone because scams are happening. Okay, and that's a really serious matter actually, which we realize only when we saw that people are not responding to our survey because of this risk actually. No, if I scan your QR code, I don't know all of my bank accounts and this and all money gone. Possible actually, these scams happens and we have seen that. When we send a link to someone also, if you know me, probably you have that security that I'm not sending anything wrong or anything unauthentic thing actually. But but data is being collected from the strangers actually. So a stranger, why they will feel the secure, the secure atmosphere by using my link actually. So before they click, no one, none. Okay, so that's the reason we came up with this idea. Okay, never mind. We have the online survey available. We created this link, but rather than asking the respondent to click the link or scan the QR code, we give our own iPad. Okay, you don't need to click anything. Just fill up the survey on my own iPad and submit.
Still going to the people and offer them.
Yes, but it doesn't require any more printing. It doesn't require any more data entry because data entry is one of the most crucial job actually.
It's automatically.
Yes, yes. Actually, they still submitted the data online, and in the Excel file, I received their response. But again, it's subject to your resources, your authenticity, and but for the papers, we don't have a time for printing and all those things actually. So most of the time, and when we are collecting the data from international tourists, post their visit, after their visit actually, okay, then international tourists where to see them actually. So we just come up with the online. Okay, if you are active on social media, most of the time we are uploading these links and with the details actually that we are conducting this study with this particular objective. And if you fit well to this research, please submit your response. Are you familiar with this figure? Are you familiar with this?
What is it?
13.
This is tornado. Okay. It shows the 19%, then 15%, then 3%, 3%, 2%, 1% actually. So different journal have a different policy. Percentage of plagiarism shouldn't be more than 10, 12, 15. Okay. And second thing, that's the first thing actually, and the second thing
AI.
before AI. Not should be more than 1% from one source. Here you can see 3%, 2%. So 1% is okay. 3% we have to reduce to the 1%. So if I need to, this is 19% which is not accepted, I need to reduce to the 15%. So I will be focusing on the 3% first. So I can kill two birds in one shot actually. 3% to 1%, definitely it will be reduced also. 2% to 1%, it will be reduced also. Okay. And also this is the way of after getting the report, and when we download this report, immediately we check the plagiarism report also, that how much percentage it is actually, and if it's too high, then we have a problem actually, because paraphrasing our own write-up actually takes so long, because how differently I can think what I thought yesterday when I completed this paper. You understand? So I have to give to someone else, to the second author actually. I wrote this, it's highly plagiarized, can you please reword it? And I rewrite his section, his part actually, to reduce the plagiarism. Right.
Can you draw pictures again?
So actually, just now, whatever we have finished, actually, it was a part of yesterday. Okay, today we didn't start yet. Okay, today we didn't start yet, all because of Shakra. Because he was making me a visit around.
Yesterday we installed the SPSS.
No, it's not SPSS actually, it's some other software he has installed. So I asked SPSS, the person come during the break and we have to download the SPSS. Did you download the SPSS?
No, for my laptop now.
I told you it's a free version for 30 days. Just download. What you are waiting for?
Waiting my work, then I will download and.
No, download at least because free version is one email for 30 days. After 30 days, use another email. If you think that, see, there are so many tricks actually in this. Usually, I cannot say. Okay, over the coffee we can talk. Okay, so let's take a break for 3 minutes.
Yes, yes.
My favorite They are working here. Can you please help him and identify that SPSS on IBM website?
This life you finished, yes?
Sorry, yes, you can close up.
And we need Алло,
А что вы там?
алло, да? Я уже все сайт сделал, вы информацию дайте, я добавлю. Спасибо, Елена. Хорошо.
Нет, например, там читают фразы и точка, да?
Bunlardan gelin çöze ay ses. Keçekte yalnız başka narsa ekan.
Bizim mesela çünkü genel İslam'da sizde şimdi de yok işte предложение приготовили. Футбол видит, просто а это новое. Да, вы то есть это правильно. Да, пожалуйста. Если это я на это раз трех предложений, поэтому пришла
Mr. Kumar, should we download from this website, right?
Я
Then first we.
Я просто
Ama just oluyor olabilir mi? Eski öyle. Bak, oluyor gören orada kendinde.
Which one was used yesterday for the pictures?
I have my camera.
Then why,
But it's not.
then why I'm not getting it?
I sent it to your business. Oh, group, what, like sitting.
Actually, only here I'm active on Telegram. I'm still learning.
I'd say your.
Yeah. You came from Colorado.
Я хотим там.
Today is not that good.
We look at speech, they. Ninth century, the Arabic tribe, from the central they mixed with local Chinese and Arabic, they recognized it. But they are Muslim.
So no. So, overall, how's the session? Are you getting? Are you digesting?
Yeah.
It's probably anywhere, wherever you feel something is not clear.
Yeah. With my habit.
No, you have to.
Interrupting. Yeah, speaker. At the university, our rector said that don't stop me, I may confuse after finishing my speech, you may ask your question. Then I said,
And you will forget.
I forget.
You lost your place.
Yeah.
You stop me anytime in between. That's my job to continue actually, but make sure that you don't forget your question.
Gulnaza oldu mu? Okay, enough?
You downloaded, right?
Yeah.
This is always.
Can you open the space?
This one is IBM Shumut.
IBM не делаешь, IBM.
Yes, SPSS.
Вот я регистрацию сделал. А что нужно скачать-то?
So just now you were select.
Just mesela draw eliyle de. Draw'lasına eklet onu. Organization'dan bir bana çıkıyor ki.
Slowly down.
Nasıl çıkıyor?
Allah iyi oldu. Работа слоги.
Блин, она регистрация koydum sadece. Böyle uzun sana bakalım. Ama просто сайты, да?
Download кнопки. Download деген жою. This process hybrid. SPS by that try, since he creates.
Google Scholar'da yapmak
Бесплатные версии.
Fransızca unutuyorlar.
Уже установку погоди.
Uzun bir veriyorum. Ücret değil IBM.
We have written out letter. We drink. That's why we not see Başka çağırabilirsiniz. Zaten hep eski var. Становка речь кролики. Хотя işte korkunçlar gibi.
Готовим?
Платные программы, пройде, email'ge free trial verirken biz email almıştık.
Doğrudan yani kitap. Yani
Email
Farklı ustanın borcu.
yeah.
So how many of you have used SPSS before?
Yeah.
Anyone?
The thing is, it's in English, we mostly use Russian.
It's okay, but software is the same, it's just a language different. Did you use Russian SPSS?
Data, no?
Stata is Russian software.
It's different, no, different.
That's okay, that's. This should be the basic software for your analytical analysis if you are using quantitative. Even those who goes for the qualitative estimation, this is a starter.
Facts in. Analyze the answer.
But this is the most commonly used.
Excel is.
It's not for analysis. You've got some specialty.
Yeah, like. Yes, special before.
I heard this.
Yes.
Delicious.
Yes. Сейчас помогли. How did you get information?
From
Like this?
Yes.
From Cheshire.
Even this morning also I used the taxi and I put this Mulambas chip. And you know what the driver did? He came from here, he came from back.
Yes, in each destination where you go, what I said you, take vacation, yes, take vacation.
Slow in nothing. So, purposely I don't want to use. Yeah, it's okay, I'm not complaining, I'm just explaining. So the driver is stopped at the back of the mosque, actually, then. So I have to use the GPS to find the streets, but it's okay with the 10 minute I was here. We are at case now.
Why did you take taxi? Why don't
Yeah. I don't want to. You know, if you walk, then we'll be sweating also.
But you see,
No, yesterday. Yesterday from Russian.
No, not from Cheshire. I mean from the hotel.
No.
To English, no?
Mexico, it's easy.
Карандаш, да, и ручки. Даже не было начисто. Вот имейте в виду, что повторы не было. Но я как посмотрела, да, что-то у них сейчас выбор большой.
Я думаю, такое самое
Нет, сегодня может превращаться. Ну, с чем инициатива были громадяне.
Is everything okay?
What's the option of height?
Height? Слайд.
Скажи мне, кто можно будет говорить? Окей, давай.
Yeah, it's downloading.
Feel free.
About shares, you remember, yes?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Они вот хорошо, а у них они вот не стоят, глотают. Сейчас має, немає туризму, а це туризм. Мене має таке ходити, де навали, має кінчити таке ходити.
Okay. Now I have a two things actually. One thing is base, the second thing is to perform. So I have to create the best to perform nicely. Okay, for that we have SPSS software downloaded. Thank you to the Mr. IT person. I have one case, not in this slides actually. The case, a paper, and what is the research objectives, hypothesis, and then I have a data which I will be going through with you to how to analyze, what type of tools, analysis, tips and tricks, etc. But before we reach there actually, we need to go through the research design, ethical data collection, and SPSS analysis. So the second part is connected to this, but I need to go through this. 11:42. So we will be continuing until 12:30. Okay. 18 plus 30, 48 minutes. 50 minutes, 30 minutes to go through. Let's see. Designing research process. As mentioned, this is the process how we are going to do, not what we are going to do or why we are going to do. How we are going to do, where we are going to do, with who we are going to do. These are the few W's should be focused. That's why this is very, very questionable section actually. And this has to be confirmed in the beginning when we are talking about the problem statement, when we are drafting our research question. Okay, because we have already identified this is the problem, but where? In Tashkent? Which district of Tashkent? Okay, so where exactly actually, and with who? With the restaurants, with the hotels, with the staff, with the tourists, with the manager, with the universities, with who? Which location? So these things, at least some rough ideas we should have. Because if we are not clear with these questions, research methodology, this process will be a problematic, and how you did, it can be a questionable. Most of the papers used to get rejected because of the poor methodology, or you have did something but you didn't justify properly. Okay, and when we don't justify, it means you are hiding something. When you are hiding something means you are stealing, and stealing is a crime. So the research process starts from the problem, questions we have, formulate the goals and objectives, procedures, consumers, policymakers, producers, consumers, policymakers, or who exactly this problem is for, or who is facing this problem. We have already formulated our objectives, plan and design research. This is the process, this is the step of this process which we are looking at. Generate research results after collecting the data and so on, then we interpret the data to reach the conclusion and have our implications. Scientific, professional communities, service experts, and so on. This is the onion which you have seen yesterday. Okay, and I spoke about different layers of the research process. From each layer, we have to take one thing. Take one thing which is appropriate, sufficient, and justifiable for your research. We have to connect the dots. Research approaches. Quantitative research and qualitative research. Okay, that's the very first question normally students used to ask when they are not familiar actually what is the research approach. Okay. We are no one to confirm that this is the research approach we have to follow. We have to understand that what type of research approach is required for this research. Sometimes qualitative, sometimes quantitative, so most of the time mixed method also. Okay. But I am a pure quantitative researcher. Okay. But I do supervise some of the students who are using mixed method. Some students are using qualitative research approach. So I am learning also with them. But also along with that, we appoint co-supervisor. So co-supervisor, I bring or I appoint that person where I am lacking. Okay, the person who has a qualitative research approach knowledge, that will be helping and assisting my student. Okay. Which one? This one? This one?
No, second.
This one? So deductive approach or inductive approach. Deductive is a quantitative research actually, hypothesis driven testing of existing theory actually. Whereas inductive approach starts from a specific observation to develop the general theories. Qualitative, when not much information is available, the scales are not available, we cannot confirm or assume something, we cannot draft our hypothesis. Then we have to go for the qualitative, for in-depth interview with the individuals, policymakers, or depends what is the context of the paper. Research strategies, experimental, survey-based, okay, such as a survey-based, collect the data from sample of a particular population, understand their attitude, preferences, behavior, spendings, generalize the findings such as conducting a survey to measure customer satisfaction with a newly launched product and understanding how satisfaction influences repeat visitation, repeat buying behavior. Purely quantitative research. Purely, we cannot have this study with a qualitative approach. Because we are looking after the customer satisfaction level. First of all, we need too much of information. We don't need in-depth information because satisfaction has been well explored. Literature is full of it. There are so many valid used scales, questionnaires, surveys are available. The variables which define the satisfaction are well explored. Okay. Experiments investigate the causal relationship by manipulating variables in the control variable. Observation. What is observation? Control. When I can control, as a researcher, I can control the result somehow.
By observation.
Observation. Okay. Let me take a simple example. Okay, I am a class teacher. I am a lecturer. You are the student. Okay, I came like a normal day, started my lecture, but before starting the lecture, I said, guys, please be careful. The team of investigators will be visiting us very soon.
We can control their behavior.
Or the chairman of this institution will be visiting us. Okay, what I said, I just put only one sentence. Okay, you get the alarm. Okay, nice, clean. Previously, you were busy with your mobiles, you off your mobiles, just focusing, asking me questions. I control actually. Rather than when I entered in this room, I brought one person who is not familiar to you. You don't know who is this person, he is sitting with you, you are still enjoying normally how you do. Okay? That person is the observer. So without informing you and with informing you, the observation will be totally different.
Then it will be experimental.
Experimental.
Types of observation.
Observatory. Observatory. Okay. Case study provides an in-depth exploration of a specific scenario. Okay. We are conducting, it can be a qualitative, it can be a quantitative. That experiment observatory can be qualitative, can be quantitative also. Whereas case study, we want to check the problem for a particular institution, particular restaurant, a case study. Such as, I want to explore the factors, identify the factors why medical tourists have chosen Malaysia for their medical treatments. That is not a case study. It's for entire Malaysia, for more than 50 hospitals actually. But if I talk about one hospital, it's a case study. Out of those 50, so first study we conducted, why? Then we have identified these are the 50 hospitals out of a few hundred hospitals which are really attracting number of tourists, number of medical tourists. After that, we identify out of those 50, these are the 3 hospitals which are having majority of the tourists. Let's explore one more study into to identify why these 3 hospitals. The level of the hospital is almost the same. Could be the case study specific. It can be another study of the same. See, we should have just eye to identify the problem. Okay. Out of those 1 million medical tourists that came to Malaysia for their medical treatments last year, majority of the medical tourists were from Indonesia. You understand? So now the point is, I want to conduct a study why Indonesians are choosing Malaysia for their medical, not a medical tourist, but Indonesians. So my study will be focused only on Indonesian tourists. Same issue, how many studies we can do? But first of all, you have to justify that this study is important, what is the significance, what exactly you will get out of this study and so on. We just need a one phenomena actually, starting point. Then it's a different ways of thinking. Like the rubber, right? You just pull from different angles, it will be keep on expanding. But you should have a power to pull. Ethnography. Immerse the researcher in the natural setting to observe and understand individual behavior and cultural context. Pure qualitative research. Do you know what is homestay?
Chemistry.
No, okay. It means you don't know, so I don't need to explain that. Okay, I wanted to use the example actually. Staying with a local. Okay? I'm staying in the hotel. Okay, that's a normal hotel in Tashkent, hotel in Kuala Lumpur, probably plus minus the same actually. But I want to know more about the local culture. Okay, so Mr. Garrett. Mr. Garrett is from one rural area, slightly out of the Tashkent, so village type, and he has a big house. Okay, he is living with his family, but he has a number of rooms available, and he have posted, okay, tourists can come and stay with us. But of course, and there are so many tourists actually who like to explore the actual culture. In hotel, I'm not having the actual culture, it's nice hotel room, exactly the same what we used to. But staying with the local family, completely different experience. Because 24/7 I will be with them. Of course, I mean, there is a privacy, but eating with them, okay, entire day spending with them, understanding their culture, what they do, how do they do, rituals, beliefs, values. If there is any festival, I will be part of it. I will be wearing like them. Okay, learning more than just a simple experience.
We implementing this in our guest house, in our family guest house, according to our degree.
But in family guest house, we don't have lunch with them. But
Yeah,
you are
we
saying
have
that
to have.
having dinner with also with the host, and it's a homestay.
Homestay is a well-defined type of accommodation in Malaysia and also Indonesia. But if you are saying a family guest house, then I need to understand exactly.
They provide.
It's a hotel.
No,
Right?
no. So the family, the actual family is staying in the same house or not?
Stay, they
Some
stay.
of them.
In our case, stay, because the degree of cabinet ministry, in this case, they stay.
Okay, fine. That is the same thing actually. The family guest house, because understanding the individual behavior and cultural context, then ethnographic study. Okay. Action research, something what you do for the actual problem of the industry. Some restaurants are facing issue, they approach you. We invested this much, but no customer. Help me. Okay, we are not going to help them by solving the problem. We are going to identify the problem only. Because we can only recommend, we are not implementer. Understand? So we will be having that project from that restaurant that, okay, we understand your problem. Okay, now I want to just sit with you for a couple of days in your restaurant to just observe first. Then I will be interviewing your staff, interviewing your customer, any sort of data, whichever I have required. But I will assure you to give some recommendations that these should be followed. Your problem will be solved. Action research for the industry. Okay, this is action research as well as applied research. Quantitative method to use numerical data. Surveying tourists to quantify their satisfaction level with a cruise destination. Okay, dealing with the numbers. Whereas qualitative deals with the beliefs, the words, the emotions, and so on. Mixed method is combining both. Okay, qualitative as well as quantitative. But the question is, in the mixed method, which one should come first? Quanti or quali? Or quali then quanti? or both should be working simultaneously. Okay, earlier it was not. If we talk about 2 decades back, actually, always the quality first, then quantity. Okay, because there was not much information available and we are targeting the same participant actually. But now in the mixed method, because we have lots of literature available, mixed method become a kind of a fancy trend these days also. We have a different respondent actually, so we can target 2 different respondent. We can target 2 different teams of the respondent, and this mixed method approach can work simultaneously. Some of my student helper are helping me to conduct the quality, some goes for the quality. Analyzing everything because quality doesn't have any impact or some relation with the quality. Earlier, we used to explore more. Exploration comes with a qualitative. On that basis, I will be coming up with my survey. But now to create the survey, I don't need to conduct the interview because the respondents are not the same. It's totally different. There are 3 objectives, only one objective is focusing on qualitative because that objective will be accomplished only through qualitative. Whereas the rest 2 objectives we can accomplish through quantitative.
And we cannot use qualitative and quantitative analysis for the same audience, for the same target.
It depends what exactly is the objective actually. The objective is written or objective is drafted in a way actually where we need to apply the qualitative. But that objective doesn't need to do anything with the second or the third objective actually. All objective stands independently on their own. Okay, the purpose is too wide. The time horizon is the most important, that how long you will be collecting the data. Is a one time or cumulative for a couple of months, such as a cross-sectional research conducted at a first point in the time. Longitudinal over the period of time. Okay, one time such as for the 3 months from January till March this year, you collected the data. October to December last year, you collected the data. That's it, just one time. But if you are collecting the data few times, okay, probably in a 4 quarters or 3 quarters, every quarter you must have the data. Because you want to see, hotel is not having the same business 365 days, right? They have a different seasons, peak season, shoulder season, low season, mid season or shoulder peak, mid something, 5-6 categories actually. So we have to understand actually what exactly they mean. A peak season is a what month? Or 2 months we have to collect the data in peak actually, and then in January, then in December and so on. So different months, such as for one of our project, we have collected data for 3 years. 36 months. It doesn't mean that for 36 months we were in the field. No. No. But every month or every second month we have collected the data. So we can say that it's consensus actually, and that was a period of time to observe the changes actually. What happened in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter of the year. So, but making sure that you don't have a COVID thing in between. That is totally destroying, that's totally new thing actually, because pre-COVID, post-COVID, the things are totally different, like a black and white actually. Yeah. Tactics and procedures. Quantitative technique or qualitative technique, don't want to repeat again. When to use qualitative research and when to use the quantitative research. In a simple words, qualitative research when not much thing is available in the literature. We need to explore, we need to conduct the in-depth interviews. Now, interviews, semi-formal, casual, semi-formal, complete formal, online, face-to-face, telephonic, through email. In just one interviews also, we have different forms. Why you have used that? You have to justify. Recommended. How to use Google Form?
Just to ask about one situation and their emotion based on that situation.
Now it depends what type of questions you are. See, Formal and semi-formal interviews. Formal or close-ended. Okay, close-ended means you gave I was interviewed this morning actually, and that was probably semi-formal actually, where of course there was a list of questions, but when I was replying, in between there was a question also, okay, which was not in the list. Okay, so there was interference, or we can say we both were discussing about something, semi-formal actually. Or most of the time for semi-formal, we don't have a list of questions, just one or two startup only. Then we will get into the depth and what do you think, then so on and so on and so on, because as an interviewer, I want to dig more and get the in-depth data actually. Whereas formal or I have these 5 questions, I will just read the question and I won't interfere. Okay, interview is being recorded. I just want to listen the interview that what is his response. You're done. Thank you. Next question. Okay. Open-ended and closed-ended question actually. In quantitative also, in quantitative surveys also, we used to have open-ended and closed-ended questions. Such as closed-ended means you ask something and then you gave the 5 options to choose. Closed-ended actually, the person, the respondent cannot go out of those 5 responses. You understand? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. You have to choose from these actually. Whereas open-ended is something. This is the question. What do you think about this? Such as in one of the study, we use like there are so many closed-ended. Which we use 5-point Likert scale, or we can say it can be a true false, it can be yes no questions. Normally how we plan our demographics, such as a age, such as an income actually. Okay, if I ask the income age of each one of you, probably there will be 15 different responses actually. Okay, probably someone will be saying 25.3 also, mean 25 years and 3 months, which I didn't want actually. I just want to have only response within 5 categories actually. 20 to 25, 26 to 30, 31 to 35, 36 to 40, 41 to 45, and 46 and above. That's it. You don't have any choice to go here or there. You cannot write 25.6 or 27.3 anymore. You have to choose the right category for you. That's a closed-ended actually. Open-ended, when I give you option to write anything. But this type of open-ended questions also we use in our surveys, where the research is all through quantitative. Okay, what you like most about Kuala Lumpur, what you like least about Kuala Lumpur. How to give you the option? There can be so many. So I want to know more about from the person itself. Most of the time, respondents don't write anything. Okay, don't want to. Okay, sometimes they say yes, good. Like most means the most important thing which you like. If you ask me what you like about Tashkent, there are so many things. What you like least, there are probably few things. See, look at the question. What you like least. I'm not asking what you didn't like. See, it's just a tone of the question. If we say didn't like means we are giving the avenue to the respondent to complain. We don't want. We want just respondent should focus on that point which they want us to improve. They like least, such as a hotel, such as a restaurant, transportation, immigration, arrival, anything actually. We just want to know what they like least, means liked, but the low category actually, lowest priority actually, like most people, hospitality, friendliness, accessibility, food, service. So it can be so many things. So recommended a final course of action research population. What is the population? We have to understand the population very clearly in the beginning, because we need to collect the data from sample. Okay. Also, we need to count what is our sample size, because we need to justify and generalize our results, which we collect from our sample, which will be generalizing for entire population. Population can be in millions, it can be in billions. We cannot collect the data from all. So there are so many rules of thumb actually, such as a 10% of the population is fine, but 10% of 100 is fine, 10% of 1000 is okay, 10% of 10,000 is also fine, 10,000 of 1 million possible. Okay, so there are so many other rules, such as number of items times 15, number of items times 12, number of items times 20. How many items mean how many questions you have in your survey times 20 times 10. Okay, suppose you are having items, research questions in your survey 43 times 10, 430. That's it. That is generalizable. So whichever way of sample size calculation, how did you calculate your sample size, that way you use, make sure you justify and you cite it. Okay. Beside that, I also recommend, especially to the PhD student, actually, forget what I have said just now about the sample. Forget. Just search about G power. G power. Okay. And just follow and calculate your sample size through G power. No one can ever question your sample size. If you talk about this 10%, if you talk about 12 items, number of items times 12, 15, 10, questionable. Because those citations which you are going to put, probably old, probably not reliable. So G power is the most authentic. Also, if you go on Google, there are how to calculate the sample size for my research. There are so many formulas available. Those formulas, again, pros and cons actually. But if I am the reviewer for your paper, I will be picking this point first. Okay. At this level, we cannot really rely, because that sample size which you have used and you have collected the data and you are trying to just generalize your results for entire population, whereas I can assure that your sample size have issue, so your results are useless. G power is the most authentic. Now, how to limit our population? Okay, you are conducting a study for Uzbekistan, 30 over million. That's not possible. Okay. So you have to understand what exactly your study is about. What? Okay. Exploring the satisfaction level of international tourists visiting Uzbekistan. Wow.
Then out of the percentage of inbound tourists, we make our sample size.
Just now I mentioned international tourists, 5-star hotel, Uzbekistan. How many 5-star hotels are available in Uzbekistan? How many international tourists came? Okay, that's so big actually. If you think that you have only 10, 15, 20 hotels, possible actually. Okay, or you have to limit it to particular state. Okay, 5-star hotels are also in a different categories. Okay, business hotels, leisure hotels, family hotels, so on. So have to limit your population. Then the entire number of tourist arrival will not be your population. You are focusing specifically on a particular category. Okay, another simple example. In Delhi University, we have 14 schools and we have 40 plus different programs. And each program we have a foreign students actually. I want to explore the satisfaction level of foreign students studying undergraduate programs in Delhi University, Malaysia. Number is more than 10,000. Okay, total number of students is 23,000. So how is it possible actually? So entire undergraduate I limited first, because if I talk about only international student, it includes undergraduate, postgraduate, PhD, crazy. Undergraduate limited now. Okay, then which program, which school is specifically limiting more further actually? From 10,000 it can become 1,000. If I focus on one school, If I focus on one program of that school, it can be limited further. We have to shrink our population actually. We have to shrink our population to limit it so our sample size can be smaller. Otherwise, sample size will be bigger and your data, your findings cannot generalize the entire population. So this is entire population. This is a sample. Sampling techniques. You have identified your population, you have identified, calculated your sample size. Now, what type of sampling techniques to use to collect the data from? There are several ways actually. Probability sampling techniques or non-probability convenience, probability sampling or non-probability sampling. Most commonly used non-probability convenience random sampling or probability basic simple random. Okay, I'm collecting the data from business tourists. Where should I go?
Business hotels and business events.
Convention centers, hotels, or I can be at the airport, don't you think?
In airport, every kind of tourist can.
Yes, so I will be using filter question first.
Arrival, business arrival.
So I will be, hold on my dear, let me finish this point. Okay. So convention center, yes, definitely, because I will be meeting all the business travelers, business tourists. Okay, business hotels, but business hotel doesn't mean that everyone who is staying in a business hotel is for business purpose. Question. So for this type of confusion to avoid, we use filter question. The very first question before the demographic event: are you a business tourist? Yes or no? If yes, continue. If no, thank you. The same thing we do at the airport also. Okay, because at airport, business lounge, what do you call it? Airport lounge,
Yeah.
the airline lounge, so the different areas, waiting areas. So we get the special permission from the airport authority. We go until the final gate before departing to the flight. Okay, I'm not flying, but we get the permission to go until the final gate because most of the time when we are conducting the study at the airport, respondent or the travelers are in rush, right? They enter the airport. Definitely, what is the very first thing they will be doing? Looking at the screen, where to go for boarding, right? Do you really think they will listen to me?
No, I tried.
Never. We have conducted the study for 5 years, my dear. It was national level project actually. So we got the permission from Prime Minister office. Okay, to get into the access for any of the gate, departing gate of any of the airport in Malaysia. So why to reach to the gate? Because that is the last point where they are just waiting, doing nothing. Right? Once the final security check, everything, they are just sitting, exploring or calling this and that, waiting for the announcement that okay, we are ready for boarding. So we are checking how many flights today departing, only departing, because arrival, again the tourists who arrive, they will be rushing also. And they cannot be stopped because they are rushing for immigration, rushing for collecting luggage, longer flights and rushing for to just go. So best tourists are who have already experienced, completed their trip and waiting for their flight to take off. So boarding gate, then thank you sir. I hope you have a wonderful time. You have a wonderful trip in Malaysia. But would you mind if I ask you, are you here? Were you here or you came here for business purpose or leisure purpose? Business, continue. Leisure, continue. So there are, of course, most of the time they say, sorry, last minute I need to make few calls, I need to make some arrangements, I need to do some bookings, I need to do this and that, because after that I will be on 8 hours long haul flight actually. Okay. But it's okay. Okay. This approach is convenient. Convenience actually. So what is the basic difference between probability and non-probability? What is probability? Probability where the chances are 50-50. Okay. If I have a coin, if I throw the coin in the air, either will be head or tail only, right? So probability is equal for both sides? Is there non-probability or probability of anything else? There is no third option available actually. Either it will be head or tail only. Okay. Known. Unknown, where there is a non-probability, we are not sure. We are not sure actually. Okay. Beside that, we have so many other types of sampling techniques, such as a snowball, such as a judgmental, such as a proposal sampling. These are the few which I commonly use actually. We have 50 different types of sampling technique. Please understand each sampling technique clearly and use the authentic one, use the right sampling technique, otherwise your paper will be questioned. Then how is it possible? Even until now, my paper is always questioned for the sampling technique. But we know how to justify. Okay, we cite again, these is even 50 times I have used. Okay. And I have published in SSCI Q1 actually, and this is Q2 journal. So justification is required. Snowball sampling. Let me just go through few of the sampling technique. What is the difference? Convenience, this random sampling, simple random, when we just get, okay, I need a response from 4 of you. Now 4 of you can be anyone. Volunteer, please, 4 of you. Okay, it can be anyone. Or I say, please come, please come, please come, please come. Okay, I'm just randomly choosing. Snowball sampling, where the respondent is not known. Snowball. So after having lots of struggle, we found one respondent. We collected the data and then we asked the respondent, do you think there is someone else with the same? Because most of the time, when the data or the research is about some sensitive topics actually, okay, they don't want to show their or reveal their identity, okay, but they know who are the similar type of people actually. So we get the reference from the first respondent for the second respondent. Snowball. I choose actually. I came to you. You are my first interviewer. At the end of the interview, I will say, can you please recommend me to someone else? Okay, for second interview. From second to third, from third to fourth. Snowball. Okay, don't go for the word meaning actually. I don't know. The snowball. Purposing or judgmental, where I use my mind. Okay, probably this person looks professional actually. He is wearing jacket, so probably he is here for business trip. Okay. I want to conduct a study on 10 different hotel. Sorry, I want to conduct a study on a 5-star hotel in Tashkent, and he identified that there are 13 5-star hotels. Okay, so we will be writing to all the 13 5-star hotels that we want to conduct a study for in your hotels. We are proposing, but only 3 responded okay. 2 didn't respond, and the rest say sorry, we are busy. You understand? So ended up with 3 hotels. We proposed 13 hotels, but we ended up with 3. Proposing. Quota sampling, I don't know, something wrong with this. Quota sampling, where we divide our sample in two different categories or three different categories. Quota, okay, like male and female, okay, senior citizen or different generations actually, on a different basis actually, married and single, okay, different. Age category, anything actually, it can be quota, means you are segregating on a different basis. Okay, the capital N is a population, small n is the sample. Okay, so table for determining the sample size for unknown population. Sometimes the population is unknown, then how? Okay, if the population is known, then we can easily calculate the sample size, but there are some circumstances where the population is unknown. So we have different tables available, we have different formulas available. This is a Kirchhoff and a Morgan 1970. This is a valid until now, but again I will advise you to go for a G power. This is the most authentic, accurate in a current time actually. What's the time? Types of quantitative research: longitudinal, quasi-experimental design, or descriptive design. For descriptive is quite basic research actually. If we will be exploring through SPSS shortly after the lunch. Descriptive, which includes percentages, which include standard deviation, which includes mean, median, mode, and so on. Very basic actually. So how many participants have attended this session? Total number 30. Okay, I can have a descriptive study within 5 minutes here. How many? Okay, and most of them were PhD students. Also, majority. It was found out that majority of the participants were female. Okay, there is no need to talk about the nationality because all of you are local. It is a very just percentage and some totals. Ethical data collection practices. Ethics. We have to be very careful, otherwise you will be questioned actually. That your research, you yourself will be questioned that you are unethical person. And you will be blacklisted for a particular journal for your entire life. Okay, so that is also a very serious matter actually. So whatever do you do, we have a consent form. Okay, we take consent from the participant before we start collecting the data actually. We get the sign that whatever you are going to say, we are going to use for our research only. This will be PMC, but please sign it that I didn't force you. I didn't bribe you, not for survey, especially more towards qualitative where we conduct the interview. But for the survey, ethics, there are some ethics actually which we are going to talk. So here is normally I'm this is the research. What are the benefits of this research and what is your role in it? Make sure they sign. Okay, but this information will be PNC. Okay. Also,
What's the duration of PNC?
PNC private and confidential. Second, in a social science and a tourism, actually we don't have major issues. But in sciences, we have a major issue where experiments are being carried forward on the animals or on the humans. Okay, we are doing this thing because such as a patient information sheet actually. Okay, we are collecting the data from the HIV patient. You know HIV patient, right? The person with the AIDS,
HR.
not
Yes.
HR. HIV is a disease which stands for
Oh, HIV. Oh, it's HIV.
I don't know what it is, but anyway, suppose this is HIV. Okay, so we have to be very careful actually because sorry. Yeah, so because their information shouldn't be revealed, how they got this HIV and so on and so on. So participant must understand the study purpose and the risk. What is the purpose? We have to inform them because if the participant doesn't understand what exactly is the purpose of this study, probably their intention, their response can differ. Okay, differ. Ensure the data is anonymous. We are not revealing the person's identity. First of all, we shouldn't ask the person's name, especially in the surveys. Okay, it should be anonymous actually. If we are talking about the nationality, but nationality doesn't reveals your identity actually. Okay, and age, income, or all those demographical characteristics should be in written or asked or drafted in a way that shouldn't reveal the identity of an actual person.
Can we change from name into nickname?
Why you want the nickname even actually? How you are going to use that in your research? Don't ask anything which is not required for your research. What is not required? Nickname, why do you want the nickname of 300 respondents? What you will do?
Just to be sure, because
Yeah, it's real people, yeah.
committee can ask, is it real or you just?
They will know actually how you have collected the data actually. Nickname, even though you have filled up all the survey, you can create the nickname of those people also. See, if you really want to fake something, you can fake in a different way. Okay, but if you have genuinely collected the data, you know actually, you can create the evidence. Okay, such as you have collected the data through survey link actually. So the response came in the Excel file. Okay. So there are different ways of creating evidence also. Maintain participants' privacy all the time. That's your job. Very first job actually. That this thing shouldn't be shared. Avoiding data fabrication and manipulation. This is a serious matter actually, where most of the paper were published, but also taken back actually. Published and it become unpublished actually. Because why? Because people are, even editors have found out some sort of practices of authors which shouldn't be. Those were unethical, illegal, immoral, not allowed. Okay, so what? Paper retract. That's we call retraction. Retracted from the portal. Paper was published. After 1 month, paper was retracted because the question was questioned on the methodology, on the data, and so on. Okay, so it is possible. But after that retraction, all the author of that paper are blacklisted, blocked to submit any other paper in the journal. It spoils the image of a person, institutions, and so many things. So we have to be very careful. Make sure whatever you do, you are justifiable actually. So no fabrication, no manipulation, collect the data authentically and do your best. Present data honestly and accurately. You are not here to report, okay? Such as I collected the data from and it shows that only 30 respondents are available. But I say no, the participant of this session was 67. That's the manipulation actually. It means 67 is manipulated actually. Then I have to increase, okay, majority were the female. How many percentage? And that will be a fake again. You understand? Or satisfaction of this session today actually, I'm asking, okay? Out of 30, 17 said satisfied, 13 said dissatisfied. Okay, but while reporting, 17 said satisfied, 13 said dissatisfied, or 23 said satisfied, 7 said dissatisfied. When you change the response actually, that is also manipulation. You are a researcher, we have to just report the actual findings. Why to change the data? For what purpose? And so on. human ethics application form. All the PhD students, okay, this is normally for the PhD students, not for every paper actually. Okay, we have a committee where we send our survey for content check and checking the validity, checking that this ethic is this survey is acceptable and it is not harming the feelings, the emotions of a human. Okay, the questions are formed in a nice way that are accurate and exact actually. Okay, now suppose I want to know about the satisfaction of local people in Uzbekistan. Simple example. I cannot ask you, are you happy being Uzbek national? See, this is a very offended question. You understand? So that will be questioned actually. My ethics committee will not approve this question. Okay, so the same question can be reworded in a simple and in a formal and a very respectful way. Rather than that question, what I ask is like so many people will not be happy. They will be questioning me. Probably I can be sued, I can be in jail, prosecuted, gone. Serious matter actually. That's our big.
Yeah. We'll start at 2.
It's good actually. We have talked about methods and actually without checking the slide, I said for the break. So this is onwards about the analysis actually, quantitative analysis. So it's good spot to break.
At 2:30, we'll start.
2:20. And we just reach out maybe like depends 4:30 or 5 we can reach out. We are going anywhere?
Yes, because today.
For the lunch. We go to the back.